Hey everybody, welcome to Rants by Michaela. So, a couple of weeks ago, my son and I decided to work together on a heritage project that he had for class. And I told him, I said, well, you know what, baby? Mommy's mom is black and my dad is white, but I grew up in a single mother household, so I only know what it means to be black. I said, as a result of me being black and your dad being Mexican, but mom being a single mother, you only know what it means to be black. You don't know what it means to be Mexican. So, how about we do this? How about we take this as an educational opportunity to go ahead and learn more about your Mexican heritage? So we say, cool. So we started getting all this stuff together: the art, the literature, the music, the clothing, the dances, the food, the language, the religion, some of the history. We started getting these little pictures together, we started captioning them, and then within the project, it says, if you have a parent that is of a different heritage than the one you're doing the project on, go ahead and add it to a part of your project that talks about your family. So in there, he put, well, my mom is black. She is a descendant of those that were taken from Africa during the transatlantic slave trade. She hopes to one day go to the country of Benin and visit the port of no return, which is a monument and a memorial to those that were taken and never brought back home. Well, he was very excited to go up in front of his whole class and present his trifold poster to everybody, explaining his heritage to everyone. And after doing his project, he was approached by this tall black girl in class. Now, my son is 11 years old and 5'7", but there is a girl in class who I think is already 5'9". And you can tell she's one of these girls who tries to use her height to intimidate people and to bully people. And from what I understand from my son, her favorite pastime is roasting people, which I don't agree with. I don't agree with normalizing roasting people because I think it's disrespectful, and people always have a tendency to hit where it hurts, where the topic may be a little too sensitive, and they don't take into consideration that they may be hurting somebody's feelings. Instead, they tell that person to just get over it. But nevertheless, as a result of us knowing that her favorite pastime is roasting people, we know that we can expect some sort of disrespect coming out of this girl's mouth. So she decided to go ahead and tell him, you're not even all that black. You're too light skinned to be black. I can't even tell that you're black. You might as well not even tell anybody that you're black because you're too light skinned to be black. You might as well just tell everybody that you're Mexican because I can't even tell that you're black. You're not that black enough. And it was a very asinine regurgitation of all of the BS that I had heard growing up being somebody who's mixed. But the reality is, to be black is a biological right. As long as one of your parents is black, you're black. No one has to approve of you admitting that you're black. No one has to validate you as being black. No one has to confirm your blackness before they recognize you as being black. And for damn sure, no one has the right to supposedly grant you permission to acknowledge your heritage as being somebody of African descent. But this girl had the audacity to go ahead and tell my son that he wasn't black enough for her to recognize that he's black, so he might as well not even admit that he's black. The fact that he is black is a fact. It's not a goal, it's not a hope, it's not a dream, it's not an aspiration. He doesn't strive to pretend to be black to hopefully be accepted within the black community. His mama is black and therefore he's black. But what makes comments like this so senseless is that at the end of the day, whether you're a dark-skinned black person or a light-skinned black person, if slavery ever came back, we'd all be screwed. White people don't sit around looking at us with this little invisible melanin measuring cup trying to determine if any of us have the right quantity of melanin in our system to be recognized as being black, or yeah, we know they have a little bit of black, but they're too white, and therefore let's go ahead and give them white privilege. We don't have any white privilege whatsoever. And we especially know that now after one of the Texas shootings where the guy was specifically targeting black shoppers in the grocery store that he decided to shoot up, and one of the victims was just as light skinned as I am. He didn't look at her and say, well, she's not black enough for me to target. And whilst a lot of black people are out there trying to quantify the amount of melanin in somebody's system to determine if they're black or if they're white, and looking at Latin American culture as if it's too white to be colored and therefore receive some sort of white privilege rather than discrimination. The 18-year-old shooter who decided to go and shoot up the school yesterday in Uvalde, Texas, picked that school because guess what? It is in a predominantly Latino community. Black and brown people have the opportunity to work together in solidarity against white supremacy. And instead, people are running around measuring whether or not someone is black enough to admit it, and trying to decide and decipher which people are actually victims of racism and colorism, and which ones get more privilege than the others, assuming that those that are light skinned get more privilege than those that are dark skinned, while not understanding that when you judge somebody for being light skinned and declaring that that is not black enough or still able to receive white privilege, that is just as much colorism as judging somebody who has dark skin. But a lot of dark skinned people like to say that colorism can only affect dark skinned people while being prejudiced towards light skinned people, but that prejudice not having a name because the word colorism is inappropriate to describe that sort of prejudice. It doesn't make sense. This logic that people have about judging others within your own community, black and brown, whether darker skin black or brown, or whether lighter skin black or brown, this discrimination and prejudice that we have within our own communities is just about as senseless as those shootings that have occurred in Texas over the past couple of weeks. We need to educate our children to do better. And in order to do that, we're going to have to unlearn everything that we were taught about racial discrimination, colorism, and any other type of prejudice that exists within our communities. Because like I said, if slavery ever came back, we'd all be screwed. But since slavery is not back and these shootings are very recent and very real, we're learning exactly how racist white people do not discriminate against us when it comes to color. They're only looking at our race. Anyway, that's my rant. You guys have a good one.